Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is well known for being one of the hardest games in the entire FNAF franchise, with many saying that 1020 mode is the hardest mode in the entire franchise, even outbeating 5020 in Ultimate Custom Night. With the amount of RNG involved with the animatronics and having the right placements and that gosh darn music box, you'd think that it couldn't get any harder than it already is. However, there is a very unknown bug within the game that actually made it even harder to beat Five Nights at Freddy's 2 than it already would have been. If you think animatronics popping out at random moments every single second is hard, then what if I told you could die quite literally for no reason? Not even in just the sense of the music box just not working, but straight up you're just playing the game normally and then suddenly you're dead. Let me tell you the story of the Golden Freddy FNAF 2 bug. One of the animatronics that had a bigger role in FNAF 2 compared to the original game was Golden Freddy. While yes, Golden Freddy was in FNAF 1, he was more or less just a cool little Easter egg, but not much more to it, and it was extremely rare to come across him. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Golden Freddy is a much more appearing character that you'll see plenty of times throughout the night. Before I get into the bug, I need to discuss how Golden Freddy can be defeated. There are two ways to get defeated by Golden Freddy. That's either you shine the light while he's in the office, or if you shine the light too long while he's in the hallway. And the way of countering this is even more simple. When he's in the office, you simply put on the mask and he goes away. And when he's in the hallway, you just can't flash it for too long. With this knowledge in mind, there was a bug many people would come across in the old versions of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 mobile ports, which I have already talked about plenty of times, where seemingly Golden Freddy seemed to come out of nowhere and mysteriously kill them. There are posts on the FNAF Wiki and FNAF subreddit going over said bug. For example, on the FNAF Wiki, Edboy says, "There's this thing where Golden Freddy keeps killing me out of nowhere. There is no warning. He doesn't appear in my office or in halls before this. He just suddenly kills me while I'm in the middle of surviving the night. Due to this glitch, I haven't been able to survive Night of Misfits, Fazbear Fever, and of course Golden Freddy. Has anyone ever seen this? If so, is there a way to resolve this glitch?" This is also followed by a Reddit post from Andy Gonka. I don't know if anyone else has the same problem while playing the game on Android devices, and I hope not, because to me, it's impossible not to die from him on the custom night modes. Every time he appears in the office or down the hallway, I always manage to make him fade away successfully. But the weird thing is, even if he wasn't in the office or hallway the moment before I put the monitor back up to wind the music box, he kills me whilst on the monitor. I can't complete any night that has Golden Freddy within its included animatronics, because he always kills me even though he hasn't been near me before going into the monitor. Anyone else having this issue? And there are more posts with similar stories. Clearly what this is implying is that despite him not appearing in the hallway or in the office at the time, he still kills you either way. Now, there's one thing you should know about the old ports. It's that for some reason on the Android version there always seemed to be something off. As discussed from a video from It's Taken, Golden Freddy is actually impossible to make appear on the original Five Nights at Freddy's game on the Android version. However, he is able to appear in the office on the iOS version as seen in this YouTube video here. With this in mind, it's pretty clear that there was always some sort of weird issues with the Android version that didn't seem to appear on the iOS version. So the last thing I wanted to do was test for myself to see if this bug was a real thing. And these were the results. Yep, there it is. The Golden Freddy glitch is real. Crazy. Now, let's look back at the footage just to be sure here. Now, as we can clearly see here, Foxy is in the hallway, therefore Golden Freddy could not have killed me through that method, and Golden Freddy does not appear in the office when I close the monitor. So this implies that this bug is very real and for no particular reason Golden Freddy will kill you. And now the ultimate question that every single one of you is asking, why does this bug actually happen? Well, unfortunately I have to give an unsatisfying answer and tell you I have absolutely no idea. Unfortunately I'm not someone that knows anything about going into game code and figuring out all these different mechanics. I mean, do I look like I know what I'm doing? However, I do want to say despite this version being remastered a long time ago, therefore this glitch is completely gone in the remade versions of these mobile ports. I do hope this brought you some attention that if you ever thought you were randomly dying by Golden Freddy and it seemed unfair, well, you weren't crazy after all. Now, even though I came to this conclusion, I just didn't feel very satisfied. I mean, was it really impossible to beat these other custom night modes just because of the Golden Freddy glitch? Sure, it obviously has an effect, but there's gotta be a chance at some point where you're able to get past it. So I set myself a challenge to try and beat at least one of the custom night challenges that has Golden Freddy in it, and these were the results. Nope, it happened again. Bro, how am I gonna beat this? It's not possible. Dude, you know what? I give up. I don't know what else to do. Alright, yeah, I officially give up. Of course, as soon as I get to 3 a.m. for once, then I die right away. Okay, well, if this is possible, then I don't feel like trying anymore. I think I'm finally done. So yeah, I didn't manage to beat it. After playing through all those attempts, I didn't realize how lucky I truly got the very first time around when I got all the way to 5 a.m. But with all the runs you just watched, I could only make it to 3 a.m. and I only managed to do that once. So with that being said, it's a good thing this bug didn't transfer into any of the other versions of Five Nights at Freddy's, because if it did, it would have been even more ridiculous. But still, I don't know anything about going into game code, so if anybody wants to try and figure out why this actually happens, I would love to know. But hopefully you learned something new today, and maybe it'll show just how truly difficult Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is. But one last thing I would like to mention is that the Amazon version of Five Nights at Freddy's games were never actually updated as far as I'm aware. So in terms of going into the game code, it might be possible you can try those versions and see if there's any reason behind why this actually happens. Or heck, you can try playing the custom nights and see if you can beat them for yourself. But considering the amount of times I tried beating it, I wouldn't hold my breath, as this glitch is unique from others to where it seems to be absolutely random. But with all of that being said, I do want to thank my channel members Heal This, Charlie King, and MD. Thank you guys so much for being members. But anyways, that's about it. Goodbye.